Thank you for joining us on this special edition of In the Now with Jim Swilley. We're at the end of a day when we've recorded, I guess we've done about 13 episodes, and I've used a song title for each of them. But there's one more song I wanted to talk about before we leave, and you and I are going to drive out of town. For those of you that may not know, this is my husband, Ken Marshall. Ken and I were married in New York City on December 31st of last year. It's a song written in 1941 by Matt Gordon. It was initially recorded by the inimitable Etta James, and our favorite version of it is by Phoebe Snow. Yeah. At our reception was what we walked in on, and it's the song At Last. At last my love has come along. And I've talked about a lot of different songs today, and I guess if you and I had to have a song, this would be our song. Let me tell you the reason why I wanted to do this. I want people to know that what you and I have is real. It came from God. Yeah. It's not gay marriage, it's marriage. It's a real marriage. I want people to know that people with same-sex attraction are monogamous, they are faithful. People have said to me, why did you want to get married? Because I'm a husband. I'm the marrying kind. And, we had talked about it, and then one day I said, well, one of us needs to propose to the other one, and it came about it was you're the one that proposed to me. We'd already decided to do it. At the time of this taping, it's still not legal in Georgia. So we're legal in the United States, just not in Georgia. Right. Looks like Georgia's going to take their own sweet time coming in, but they will eventually. But I don't know. A lot of couples say "At Last" is their song. Why do you think it's our song?
Because I found my true love. There's no more looking. Everything has come to the right place. It's at last. Every dream's come true.
Well, you and I were both married before. I was married twice before to women, and no regrets. We encountered wonderful women in our lives that we certainly couldn't have had children without. So no regrets about that. No. But it's very different being married when you're yourself.
That's right.
And so it's not just waiting for the right love to come along. It's at last I'm finally myself loving another person as myself. When people are in same-sex relationship, it's not a sexual aberration. It's not a perversion. It's not even something that's unnatural. It's all in nature. There's 1,500 species of animals that have same-sex relationships. I knew I was gay my whole life. You knew you were gay your whole life. We tried to be who we weren't, but now we are who we are. You love my kids, I love your kids. You love my granddaughters, they're crazy about you. You love my parents, I love your dad. As a matter of fact, as soon as we leave here, we're driving out to a family reunion out in your hometown. Yeah. Your family, actually, your extended family has embraced me a lot more than my extended family has embraced us. Because a lot of my family are in the ministry and they have to watch their reputations and stuff. Your people, amazingly, for a small town in Georgia, you're like, well, all right, this is who you are. We celebrate it, and that's awesome. And you have said, your mom passed away 5 years ago, but you said, I know if my mom was alive, she would have loved you and would have approved of us. And I don't know. I didn't even really have a direction I wanted to go with this. while I had the cameras here, and while I had you here, I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to finally find yourself. And we hear this all the time. We post pictures on Facebook of us doing stuff and going places, and people write me all the time and say, you give me hope. You give me hope that it's possible. Because I got to tell you, I was 52 when I came out. And for me to have found somebody, a high caliber man who could understand my life, because we both had relationships before. And, I would meet guys around here and we'd go out and I'd say, all right, before this goes any further, you need to come with me to this other place because there's hundreds and hundreds of people that call me Bishop, and there's these 4 people that call me Dad, and 2 little girls that call me Poppy. I'm not just this man that you met in Midtown. I got this huge life that not everybody can get their head around. And you know, the first Sunday you came, you committed, and you've been on the front row ever since. And even when I was still working with Debbie, my ex-wife, y'all sat next to each other on the front row, and we really fulfilled that prophecy spoken over me many years ago. You're going to do something nobody's ever done before, and I don't know of anybody else that's done it. And everything, when we renovated the building in Covington, you helped us do that. When we tore it down, you helped us do that. We started Metron, you helped us do that. Every Sunday you're here. And, you're a part of my whole life, not just our intimate life, but all of my life. My parents don't know what to do without you. As soon as we go over to their house, my dad captures you and takes you somewhere to ask you, what do I do about this? And can you fix this or whatever? And I love that. I love that, my life really is fulfilled. And I guess that's what I wanted to say about it at last. How did you know I was the one? You said you knew it the first night we met.
I did. That's
because I was so cute?
That was the first thing. But it was just, how when we met, that's sitting in there we just talked. And
yeah, gay men when they meet don't automatically have sex. I think a lot of straight people think that. You actually do go and sit down on couches and talk about things, yeah.
And you wanted to know about how I took care of Mama, and both of us sitting there crying. And
well, let me interject. What happened? Because when we met online, we met through Match.com. And by the time I met you, you had been in a relationship before. I'd been in a relationship for about a year. I'd been single for about 7 months. By the time I met you, I had already perfected the time management thing. Like, I'd meet certain guys and I'd say, let me save us both some time. I'm not right for you. You're not right for me. There's no point in us meeting. And when I met you, I said the same thing. I said, I had a list of things. Like I said, I know this is terrible, but I don't want a relationship with somebody that's got kids. I adore my kids. I don't want to adore yours. I need to tell you up front, that's the deal. I don't want long distance. I'm not going to where you are. You got to, I just made it nearly impossible. And you said, would you at least give me a chance? And I said, all right, that's fine, but you got to drive here. And you did. And your mom died of Alzheimer's, and you were her principal caretaker for what, the last 5 years of her life? So I said, well, tell me about that. And I sat on the floor, you sat on the couch, and you told me, and I asked you everything.
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, I can't imagine. How do you do that with bathing your mother and taking care of the intimate stuff? And were you there when she died? And what was that like? And by the time you got through, I was sobbing. And I thought, oh, man, I'm going to fall in love with this guy. Because I just knew. I mean, I thought you were cute and everything. I like bald guys and all that, I like men and not boys. I've never been attracted to boys. But when I saw what a good man you were, I thought, wow, this is a blessing. And I tell you, I don't care how many Christians are out there who say that gay people are reprobates or whatever. There is nobody in the world that can tell me that God didn't bring you to me. I mean, I don't care who you are. You could quote scriptures to me until we drop dead. I'm telling you, my steps were ordered to meet you. You were the right one for me.
That's exactly how I feel. There's no way that I can describe, yes, I fell in love with you that night, that first night, because I felt my heart speaking to me like I never felt before. And that's going in, everything's just different with music you hear, just like that song At Last. How many times have I heard that before you? Now I feel the meaning of that song. Even when I go to get a card or something for you, it's when I read it, I feel it in my heart, and I know that card right then, that first one that I read most of the time that's just what I want to say to you, what I feel in my heart. The everything we do, I've never felt that with anybody. You know, don't mean any disrespect to my ex-wife. She's the best mom in the world to our two boys, and I loved her, but I'm in love with you.
Yeah. You can't be in love with somebody if you're not yourself.
Right.
I mean, you can't be. And it's sometimes people don't understand that. They're like, well, if you were a gay man, how could you be married? I didn't hate being married. I didn't have a sham marriage. It's just I was as married as I could be, not being myself.
Right.
If you say you're in love with somebody but they don't know the real you, then you're not really in love with them. You're playing a game. They're in love with who they think you are, who they want you to be. And it's unfair to them. You know what I mean? It's like, I think gay men that are married, and I know several gay men that are married to women, and I want to say you need to release them and let them go have a life and really be yourself. And I think that's one reason why I wanted to, while I've got the cameras here, do a video with us, because I wanted to say to people, look, there really is abundant life, and it's awesome, and it's not perfect, but it's about as close to perfect as it could be. And our commitment to each other is every bit as real as any married couple, as any straight married couple. I would even go so far as to say is better than most straight couples, because we are completely honest with each other. When I first met you, you weren't totally out like at work or whatever, and I said, that was another reason I said, I'm so out, and as a public figure, if you even put my picture on Facebook, people are going to know you're gay. Yeah. And you didn't care. You immediately, if anything, I'm reining you in. I want to say this, I want to be aware of the time, but at the time of this taping, about a week ago, was what would have been the 30th anniversary of Church of the Now. And I have no regrets about Church of the Now. I'm very proud of the legacy I have. But you know me very well. It was kind of a hard day for me. It kind of hit me emotionally more than I thought it would. And I wasn't really sure why, because I don't miss it. But, that was a milestone. And, I mean, it just, you didn't know me when I was a megachurch pastor, when I was a, for lack of better term, celebrity. And so sometimes I'm not sure that is even real to you, what I once was. No regrets, but that day, you were raised in a little Methodist church where I doubt people were prophesying over each other, but you wrote me a prophecy. As a matter of fact, I hadn't planned on sharing it. You might can recap it, but I wasn't expecting to get anything from you, and this is what I get. Happy 30th anniversary. I've said change is coming for you, and I still feel that way, only that feeling is stronger now. You are the voice that needs to be heard and clearly are anointed. God's got you, and His presence is all around, leading you down the path that He has made for you to follow. Yes, you lost a lot coming out, but the reward God has waiting for you is going to be better than you could ever imagine. Today's year in the now is get real. And that is what you are now. You're being who God has been waiting for you to be. So keep on shining and doing what you do best through your teachings, because your best days are ahead and waiting for you. So you better get ready, and hold on tight. I'm going to be right beside you, cheering you on. I love you, and I'm so proud to call you my husband. Now, you don't know, but that's what the charismatics call prophecy. And, when you said that, you may not have ever thought you had the word of the Lord, but that was the word of the Lord. And we're having to come up with new terminology now. When a man's in the ministry and he's openly gay and he has a husband, do you call that man a helpmeet like you would call a wife a helpmeet? And the answer is yes. Yes, you would. Yes, you do. I can't do what I do without you. And the scripture is still true that says two are better than one. And that's true whether it's a heterosexual or homosexual relationship. And not only is it a privilege to be able to say these things out loud, I think it's our responsibility. We're not kids. We're mature men. You're 4 years younger than me, so you don't get the senior discount, but I'm getting it now. I'm already AARP. But that's good. I think we can say to young gay people, like, you're cool and God's going to bring love into your life and you don't have to sleep with everybody you meet. And, straight people think gay people are, not all straight people, but some straight people think gay people are attracted to everybody. That's not true. It's just not true.
Like I say, when I met you, and I'm even more happier than I was then. But there was a guy at work. Well, there were several people that noticed, said, "You're so happy now," and I couldn't. But when he said, "You're so happy," his words were, "Who is she? Who is she?"
Oh, really?
And I knew then that I wasn't scared to tell him. I told him, I said,
she's a he.
I'm going to tell you a little something about me that you don't know. I said,
and this is small town Georgia.
Right. I said, it's not a she, it's a he. And I'm living my life now. And he said, it doesn't matter to me. You're happy. That's all that matters.
Wow.
So, I'm free.
I got to tell you, the people in Eatonton and Greensboro and Reynolds Plantation and your family, I'm amazed at how progressive they are. And a lot of that has to do with they know you.
Right.
I think if it had been somebody they didn't know, maybe they couldn't have gotten their head around it. Like I had people at Church of the Now say, "Man, if this had been anybody but you, I couldn't have accepted it, but you've been my pastor for 30 years. If you say you're gay and always have been, then I've got to rethink all my prejudices." I think, well, good. Then we have a purpose. But it's funny that you mentioned about the happiness, because Lord knows we post a lot of pictures on Facebook and we make no apology for it. Our life is wonderful and we like to share it.
Right.
But the one thing I hear, because I feel like I look the same in pictures, I always have. I do the same smile, and no matter how many times you take my picture, it's the same. I've been photographed a lot, so I've figured out this is the way you look best, so I do it. But what I hear is people say, "Oh my God, the happiness coming out of your face, you look so happy." And I look at it and I think, well, I don't look any different than I ever did, but apparently people are seeing something that wasn't there before. The reason I wanted to do this, and the reason I wanted to use the song At Last, is I want to tell anybody watching, and not just gay people, I want to say to straight people too, wait for the right thing to come along, because there is somebody for you. And until you find that person, don't settle. It's better to want something you don't have than have something you don't want. I want to say that I did not settle. I'm blessed. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to call you my husband. I'm not ashamed of that. It was funny because I'm very aware of your Methodist upbringing, but recently, I don't know what it was, I have a headache or something, and you went, "In the name of Jesus," and you laid hands on me. I thought, well, now we've come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
But because we're real, and we're real in the sight of God. My mom was talking to us a while back, and she said, "You guys just don't seem gay." And I said, "Well, Mom, we are." I don't know what your definition is. She said, No. I know you are, but you don't seem like you are. I said, "Well, we are." And it's not that I just want to flaunt that all the time, but I also don't want to feel like I can't say it. I know closeted gay men who say, I don't come out because it's nobody's business who I sleep with. And I think, really, that's all that person is to you? The person you sleep with? That's kind of depressing. This person is the person I celebrate Christmas with, that, you know, do yard work with my parents with, go babysit my granddaughters with. That's not just about the sexual aspect. I have a life with this person.
That's right.
And that's why I don't pastor a gay church. I don't want to have a gay church. I want to have a church where people can be who they are. And I think the gay people that do come to Metron, they don't want that either. They want a place where they can just be who they are.
Right.
So is your message to everybody, be who you are?
That's right. That's, you know.
And don't be afraid of the consequences?
Right.
I feel like I'm telling you what to say.
No, that's,
Well, they're counting us down, so we're about out of time, but you were worth waiting for.
I say that right back to you. I mean, I'm proud of you. I kid you all the time. You know, I say I'll get on that building out there and shout as loud as I can.
Yeah, you could fall and hurt yourself.
Tell you how much. No, I hold on, but I'm proud that you're my husband.
I'm proud that you're my husband too. All right, thank you for this edition of In the Now with Jim Swilley. We'll see you next time.
How are you feeling?